I'm a 26-year-old male who works full-time for a police department as one of their tow truck operators. On a given day, I will do anything and everything from picking up seized vehicles to helping officers if their cars break down or get damaged. While I love my job and am proud of it, the same thing can't be said for my 16-year-old sister Emily. This has led to my current issues with her and our parents over the favors I do for them every school year. For years now, during the school year, one of the things I do is drive Emily and her friends home after school. I do this to spare the parents having to make the 35-minute drive twice a day. This hasn't been an issue until this year, when a new dress code came into effect for all of us tow truck drivers. 2 weeks ago, as part of a push for safety, all of us got new uniforms that were designed to replicate what our officers wear. Since adopting them, they have done their job well, as more people are slowing down and moving over for us. This, sadly, is where the problems begin, as Emily and her friends hate this new uniform and find it embarrassing. As a result of this, they have been demanding I change every day before I go to pick them up. My response to this has always been no, and that they need to suck it up if they want to ride. Not happy with this, they complained to my parents a week ago, who tried to get me to cave to their demands. When I told them no as well, this led to a huge argument in which I decided to stop helping them. This has led to the other parents getting upset, as now Emily and her friends have to use public transit, which takes them an hour to get home. Am I the idiot? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot, but I can kind of get your sister's and her friend's perspective regarding a police officer coming to pick them up from school. High schoolers can be cruel to each other. Still, there is an easy solution right in your post. If they don't like it, they can just take the bus. The kids are being entitled, but it sounds like it's a learned behavior with the way the parents reacted. The parents have gotten too comfortable with accepting your favors, and now they're trying to flex on you about it. If they want you to have a dress code for chauffeuring their kids around, and that's basically what they're trying to enforce by telling you what you can't wear, even if the restriction leaves a broader range of options than average, then they can pay you. When I was 16, I was riding the subway alone for 3 years. If the parents don't want to drive the girls can learn to use public transit. Comment 2. I have to wonder what the police department's policy is about wearing the uniform while doing things not related to the job. OP isn't a sworn police officer, but apparently the new uniform makes identifying him as a police employee pretty easy. I could see liability issues arising here. I think the departmental policy is an important factor we're not being given. I vote insufficient information to give a decision. Comment 3. I'm confused. I work for a law enforcement agency, and the uniform clearly states that we are to change or cover up our uniform when not on duty. I keep a light jacket that I can put over the uniform shirt if I have to go to the store on my way home. Doesn't your employer ask you to do the same? Now for the next story, throwaway. And this happened recently, so bear with me. I, 18-year-old female, started university this year. My school is located outside my home province, so I wasn't expecting to see too many people from high school here. However, I did see this one guy from high school, Thomas, 18-year-old male, here. To say Thomas and I had a difficult past is a bit of an understatement. He tormented my friends, especially me, during our pre-teen years and for the first 2 years of high school. He would always call me the most hurtful things and was your typical bully. I don't know why he hated me, though I think he probably thought I was an easy target. He stopped picking on us around grade 11, and I thought that was it. Apparently, according to some of my friends, he turned over a new leaf around that time. Fast forward and I see him during orientation week. He approached me and said hi. I returned his greeting and we made some small talk, but I tried to keep things relatively short. During this chat, I learned that, surprise, surprise, we're in the same program and even in the same residence building. He seemed happy with this, as in his words, it was nice to see a familiar face. Over the next few weeks, we've been chatting pretty regularly, given that we do have pretty similar schedules. I've been trying to give short, polite answers, but whenever we talk, he just doesn't shut up. I sometimes suspect that he actively seeks me out for a chat. Earlier today, when I was at the campus gym, I saw Thomas. I tried to avoid his general area in the gym and kept my AirPods in my ears, hoping that he would not notice me. About halfway through my set, I heard him call out to me. We talked for a bit. I was annoyed at this stage, as he did interrupt my workout, And then he starts asking me if I need help with any of the equipment or anything like that, and that he could personally train me. I declined his offer, and then he bluntly asked me out. I didn't think I heard him properly, so I asked him to repeat what he said. He then said he wanted to take me out for lunch or something like that. I said something along the lines of now wouldn't be a good time, but he persisted and said that it could be fun. At this stage, I snapped. I told him that I thought he was beyond repulsive and dumb as poop if he thought I'd go out with him. He looked very shocked at this, and before anything else could be said, I grabbed my bag and left. Later, I told my roommate about this, and she said that I was sort of an ass, but that she could understand where I was coming from. Am I the idiot? Now, for the next story. I am 6 weeks off of giving birth, and a few months ago, my boyfriend and I were sitting at his sister's discussing birth plans. This is my first child, and my partner has 4, while his sister has 2, so they are more experienced. During the conversation, his sister mentioned that she didn't want certain people to know when she was having her second child. However, it seems like someone ended up telling the person she specifically didn't want to know. We reached a point where I was expressing what I wanted for my birth experience. I explained that I only wanted my mom and my boyfriend in the room with me, with his dad and stepmom there 24 hours after the birth. This is when things got complicated. For weeks on end, I kept hearing comments like, "I'm going to be your birthing partner, not your mom," or "I'm going to tag team it with my brother," or "I'll be there as it's through half term." No matter how much I said no, these comments persisted until I finally lost my temper and had a big argument with my boyfriend. I told him that if his sister doesn't stop and understand that no one will be there with me, he would miss the birth of his child. He then told her that she would be invited to see the baby when we are ready for visitors. Since then, she has attempted everything to ruin my relationship with my boyfriend. Whenever we plan to go out together, suddenly there's an emergency at her house, or she can't get out of work, leaving her kids alone late at night. Whenever he thinks his little sister is in trouble, he won't leave her side until the early hours of the morning. These situations have caused huge arguments between my boyfriend and me, and I constantly feel abandoned because I never get to see him. I'm worried that she will come up with an excuse to prevent him from being present at the birth. I also want to mention that during these emergencies, she gets angry at him for answering his phone when I call. Should I just change my mind and allow her to be there so that I can see my boyfriend and ensure that he will be at his child's birth, or at least have confirmation that I have gone into labor? Comment 1. Why do people think they're entitled to be present when others are at their most vulnerable and in pain? What's wrong with people? Not the idiot. It's messed up that your boyfriend has to be allowed by his sister to be at the birth of his own child. Don't allow this to happen, and be prepared for your boyfriend to show his true colors. Hopefully, he'll be there for the birth, but if not, it's clear that you and his child aren't as important as his possessive sister. Comment 2. Not the idiot. This sister is ridiculous and immature. I understand sibling bonds, but they're acting like teenagers. I'm surprised your boyfriend isn't noticing anything. It's your birth and you have the right to decide what makes you comfortable. Don't let anyone pressure you into accepting anything. Also, seriously talk to your boyfriend about this, because he seems oblivious to what's happening. Comment 3. Not the idiot, obviously. I'm shocked that some people think they have a right to be present at births. You're the patient, and you can inform the nurses of who's allowed in the room. You can even kick your boyfriend out if you want, and you wouldn't be in the wrong. It's entirely your choice. Now, for the next story. My brother has a daughter named Lou, age 10. He also recently married Jane, age 43, who has a daughter named Elle, age 11. I, age 29, am very close to Lou. Every time we see each other, we like to wrestle and cuddle, and I generally enjoy annoying her, which, by the way, she loves. Well, Jane recently called me to tell me that Elle is very jealous of Lou because she doesn't have any aunts or uncles, and asked me to tone it down whenever Elle is there. I told her that how I treat my niece is none of her damn business, and hung up the phone. She then sent me a long message basically calling me an idiot. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Everyone telling you that your reaction was rude seems to be missing the part where she told you to tone it down. Frick that. She could have reached out and asked you if you would mind doing a group activity with the girls, or just talk to you about how she feels sad her own child doesn't have anyone like you in her life, etc. But her solution was to take away from your niece to even things out. I would have had some more choice words before hanging up if someone stuck their nose in my business and spoke to me like that. Not the idiot, not the asshole. Comment 2. Not the idiot, not the asshole, as a stepchild on both sides. Her and her daughter's jealousy issues are none of your concern. You could have been nicer when telling her to back off, but she needs to understand that you don't get to waltz in and change a family dynamic that you are a newcomer to. If they had been step-siblings since they were 2, it would be a different story, but they only recently joined the family and are wanting to change the dynamics of how extended family interacts with their niece. Nope, that is not okay in the slightest. Comment 3. Not the idiot, not the asshole. You are allowed to treat your niece how you want and not have to modify your behavior with her. She should be teaching her child that you can't always get what you want in life and how to deal appropriately with those feelings. And if she wants an uncle figure in her daughter's life, she should go out and find a volunteer. Now, for the next story. I, 23-year-old female, have a childhood best friend. Maggie, 23-year-old female. She's really beautiful and someone that you can get along with easily. I love Maggie, but she has this problem that sometimes bothers me. Maggie likes to sleep with wealthy married men, not men her age or single men. She only likes guys that are like a decade older than her and that have their own families already. Not for money. It is just her kink. I'm not trying to kink shame her or however she calls it. It's just that it gives me quite the ick. This strained our friendship a bit. Maggie met this guy, Max, 39-year-old male, on social media. He texted her in response to a story she posted. Now, they began to chat, and Maggie got super fixated with this guy. She keeps talking about him, showing me pics of him, yada yada. I know it's her life, but something about that man irked me, but I decided not to tell her to not get into a fight. Finally, after like 4 months, Maggie and Max meet again. Maggie even introduced him to me, and in that moment I knew much better than something wasn't right. In Maggie's words, he was single and all that, and that it wasn't anything to be concerned. Maybe it was the age gap between them and the fact that Max was a total jerk, lol. But it made me highly uncomfortable. A few days ago, Maggie came to my house and she was crying. At this point, I already had an idea of what was happening. She tells me that she got pregnant by Max, and just when she told him, he dropped the big bomb. He was married with 2 toddlers and couldn't take responsibility for the baby. Maggie said to me that she didn't expect it because Max always told her things like she was the love of his life, they would marry someday, she was everything he could ever want. To be honest, I felt sad for her because the man obviously lied. I told her that I'm so sorry about what happened, but she should know better at this point, and she should have been more careful. Maggie began to cry more. I comforted her a little more, and then took her to her house again. But since then, Maggie doesn't want to speak to me and ignores me. I talked about this with another close friend of mine and Maggie's, and she told me that I was too harsh and lacked tact, and that Maggie was obviously being manipulated by Max. I have been thinking about my friend's words. I want to know what you guys think. Was I the idiot, actually? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It was harsh, yes, but sounds like she needed to hear the truth. Whether or not she knew he was married, she has a thing with sleeping with wealthy married men. What did she think was going to happen? Comment 2. Not the idiot. Does she know where babies come from? Because yes, Max is the idiot, but she is too. Certainly you are not. She played a dangerous game, and now she has real adult decisions to make. Comment 3. Hold on. You had to tell your 23-year-old best friend that? Okay, you're not the idiot, but you're not her keeper either. You need to distance yourself from her. She will take you down with her. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.